Okay guys, we are going to be talking about the color wheel. So the color wheel is just kind of a tool that you can use as a visual example as to what colors make what colors, what are our complementary colors, helps you kind of know. It's just a visual aid, and it's good to know the color wheel so that you can make good choices later down the line. And this will be something that you're going to be tested over as well. So make sure that you pay attention. Now, I know we did kind of a color wheel lesson at the beginning of the year when we were talking about the elements of art, but we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper now. So what I need you to do on your sketchbook paper or on scrap paper, if you don't have that available, you are going to, we're going to kind of make a little color wheel of our own. And I kind of like to set mine up a certain way. So we're going to start by drawing a triangle, and you need to do this and follow along, and at the end of this lesson you will need to upload, if you're at home in quarantine, you will need to upload a picture of this on today's post. If you are in school, I will be able to monitor your work here. So anyways, we're going to start with this triangle, and we're going to start with a circle of color. Now, we're not going to color these today. We're just going to label them. We're going to have another day where we are mixing these colors. So we're not going to mess with that today. We're just going to know the order of them. So we have three main colors. These main colors are your primary colors. The reason these are primary colors is because you cannot use any other colors to make them. You have to start with them. Okay? So the three main colors are yellow. I'm just going to abbreviate. Yellow, blue, and red. Okay. Now, on the color wheel, I'm kind of a stickler. I always want you to put yellow at the top. Okay. Blue and red doesn't really matter. You'll see a lot of other color wheels that they're all kind of in different, like, interchangeable in these spots. However, I like yellow at the top because it's the lightest color. And it will play well when we get into our complementary colors and secondary colors when I start explaining that. So anyways, when you are being tested on this, I'm going to ask you what color should always be at the top. You are to say yellow, okay? Red and blue, again, don't really matter. So these are our three primary colors. So the next set of three colors we have, again, I like to kind of just set mine up like this. And then I draw my circles here. These are called secondary colors. Okay. This is not very pretty, but that's okay. So secondary colors are colors that if you mix two primary colors together, you get that color. So on the color wheel, we always put the secondary color between two primaries that they make. Okay. So yellow and blue, when mixed together equally, you get green. So green is going to go in the middle of yellow and blue. But if you mix blue and red together, you get purple or violet. Same color, just different name, just FYI. Then if you mix yellow and red together, you get orange. Okay? So again, it's important that when you are tested on the color wheel that you keep that in mind, that the secondary colors goes where, like which secondary color goes in between the two primaries that make it. Okay, so again, yellow and blue make green, red and blue make purple or violet, and yellow and red make orange. Okay, so we have our primary, our three most important colors, and our secondary. Now, in between our primary and secondary are our intermediate colors, also known as tertiary colors. I don't like saying that word, so you're going to always hear me refer to them as intermediate colors. So intermediate colors are colors that when you mix a primary and a secondary together, you get those intermediate colors. Okay? So if you were to mix yellow and green together, you're going to get yellow-green. Okay? If you are going to mix green and blue together, you're going to get blue-green. Now, not green-blue. The reason you always want to, the reason I said blue-green and not green-blue is because when you are listing intermediate or tertiary colors, you always list the primary first. Okay? Primary is the important one. because it's primary. You have to have it. Okay, so if we mix blue and purple or violet together, you get blue-violet. If you mix red and purple together, you get red-violet. And I think you probably see the trend now. If you mix red and orange together, you get red-orange. And orange and yellow, you get yellow-orange. Okay, again, always list the primary color first. Okay, that will also be on a test, so make sure you know that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and you might grab a different color of something just so that our lines don't get too confusing. So these are primary, secondary, intermediate colors. So let's talk about complementary colors. Complementary colors is what we know is a color scheme. You also have color schemes that are primary color schemes, secondary color schemes, intermediate color schemes. Color schemes are, again, if you recall your vocab, is a set of colors that helps you create a mood in your piece of work. So if you want a more vibrant, energetic energy or mood to your image, you might go with primary colors. Primary colors not being mixed together have a high energy level to them because they're very intense colors. If you want more of a cold feeling, a cool feeling, like a cool winter evening, you will probably use your blue, violet, and green tones. Okay, if you want warm, cozy feelings, you're going to use red, orange, and yellow. Those are color schemes. So what I want to do, I'm going to grab a different color here. If you don't have a different color, that's fine. But I'm going to, just so that our lines don't get too confusing here, I'm going to circle my green, blues, and purples together. And I'm going to label these as cool colors. Okay. You're going to need to know that color combination. Again, because it's a color scheme, you're going to be tested on that. And I'm going to lump together also my warm colors. Okay. And I'm going to label them, as should you. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is complementary colors. Complementary colors, when you think of that, think of like opposites attract. They are a primary paired with a secondary. They are also across from each other on the color wheel. So it's kind of like yin and yang. They're opposite. So yellow, now I'm going to do this in another color, just so that you can kind of see yellow and purple or violet. They are complementary colors. We have orange and blue. They are complementary colors. And you have red and green are complementary colors. Now, when you think about things that are already set with these color schemes, you can see that a lot of times they're used on team colors, logos. Complementary colors are used a lot in design. But you also see them also pop up in artwork very often as well. So, because they all follow the same art rules. They all follow that color elements of art, principles of design aspect. So, anyways, I do want to kind of backtrack just a second ago because I realized I didn't mention this. I did not lump, if you notice, I did not lump yellow, green, and red, violet in with warm or cool colors. Now, as far to my knowledge, there's not a rule out there that says these don't fall under one or the other categories. However, I personally feel like they don't, because I think the green tone in the yellow cancels out the warmness of that color, and vice versa. Same thing for red, violet. So I personally choose not to include those into my color schemes when I'm going with the color schemes. However, I don't think there's a art rule out there that says you can't, but that's just my personal opinion. So, anyways, so talking back on complementary colors, we have, if you think of orange and yellow, or orange and blue, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's their color scheme. I believe that's also like the Vikings. No. They're yellow. They're yellow and purple. So are the Lakers. orange and blue, that would be, oh gosh, the Broncos, I think. I'm not a sports person. So anyways, and of course we have red and green that everybody associates with as Christmas colors. So anyways, color schemes will pop up very often in artwork, photography, design, and you need to know these color combinations. Now, something else you should be aware of is colors that when you mix them together, they might make a color you don't want. So say you don't want brown tones. You need to be careful mixing yellow and purple together, because when you mix any complementary color together, you're going to get a brown tone. Let me see if I can find the purple over here. And they'll be slightly different brown tones, but I'll try to give you a little example here. Like red and green is going to make a slightly different tone of brown than say, oh, that's blue, that's not purple. Let me find the orange. It's kind of an orangey tone. They're not gonna make a really pretty color generally. Now it also kind of depends on the tone of blue you make or the tone of orange you use and vice versa, but usually you get like a brownish kind of tone when you mix complementary colors together. Let's see if I can do another example here. That is not a red color pencil. But anyways, just be aware of that. Especially if you're doing like watercolor, those colors blend together really easy. So you have to be careful. Complementary colors look really good side by side, but when they mix, not so much. So anyways, I need to see, again, if you are at home, I need you to post a picture of your color wheel for your attendance today. If you are at school, I will see you working on this. I will be able to get your participation grade that way. So anyways, tomorrow we will have another one and we will mix colors tomorrow.